Hello, today I thought I would give you a tour of my hand printing studio. So my studio is actually a shed or garden building in the back of our garden. It's about 12 foot by 12 foot, so it's really small, but I use every little inch of the space to work for me. And in fact, you can print really effectively in a small space. If you're hand printing without a press, you don't need that much space. You just need a piece of plastic or something flat, some paper, some ink and some rollers, and that's really about it. I have accumulated lots of things over the years that also help with that, so I'm going to show you that now. If you're interested in me and my work and you want to see some more, subscribe to the channel. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm at RuthAnderPrints, or better yet, go to my website ruthander.co.uk. You can join my mailing list there, and you can also sign up for online workshops that I run. I've got 2 coming up in September and November 2022, and I'm also running a video complete course to hand print at home. And that's going to be released in November, but you can enroll now if you want to, and that's all at ruthander.co.uk. Thanks for watching. So here we are in my garden. This is where the glorified shed is, the studio, and I've painted it black with a yellow trim inspired by Derek Jarman's Prospect Cottage in Dungeness. And this is actually like a summer house building that was I bought from a garden buildings place, and then painted it. So it's a kind of a triangular setup. It's about 12 foot by 12 foot. And we open the doors here, and in we go. Okay, so once we're inside, you can see we're in a very tight space here. This is actually, I think it's 12 foot by 12 foot space in a kind of triangular arrangement. So I have to be really, really effective with my space, and I can probably do better, but there we go. So we've got, this is sort of current work hanging up here, and I've just put some hooks into the wood to hang things up, partly to dry, but partly to kind of just keep them out of the way as well. And then this corner here, which would be, I suppose, this kind of dead corner, is all my frames, things that have been framed up previously, things that are waiting, frames that are waiting to have things in, and they're all stacked up along with my packing things. So every now and then, it's really difficult to get things out from there, but every now and then, if I need to, I can just take the whole lot out. And then this is my printing area, which is what I use most of the time. This is my trusty and rather dirty apron, and my chair, my stool, which is goodness knows how old. I inherited it from a different studio. It's probably about 40 or 50 years old. But this is my printing area. So this is a piece of Perspex, massive big piece of plastic basically, and that's where I roll all my ink out. And I've got my rollers here, the ones that I use the most anyway. These rollers are great actually. These are the ones that you tend to get from an art shop. Really solid, really great, work brilliantly. They're SD. And then this is one that I've got from Great Art, which is a bit more sturdy. Also really great. Well, a little bit more expensive. So yes, I use those to roll my ink out on here. Put that back over there. When I say ink, I actually mean paint, because I use oil paint. So all of these are my oil paints, and I've got a few odd colours down here as well. And this piece of furniture was actually an old IKEA CD shelf thing that I've turned on its side, and it's great for lots of little things. I've got all my tissue paper, if I just scrap tissue paper, rags. These are all my bits of paint that I didn't want to let go of. Nice colours that I've mixed, and I wrap them up in foil, and then of course I forget which colour I've put in them. Just move my little cup of tea out of the way. My kitchen towel, all the little bits and pieces that I tend to accumulate. I'm loath to show you the top shelf because it is a total mess, but of course I've got my radio. Radio 6 is my standard. I listen to almost all the time. I've got, this is photographic reference that I've used in the past. Can't even talk about that, I guess. Sketchbooks, random pieces of paper, bits of mount board. Now I cut pieces of mount board up to make these little spatulas, and I use a lot of those, so I keep lots of little bits of mount board, and then all my bits and pieces. I've got glue, fixative, gloss medium, various things in that corner. So what have we got down here? This is where I tend to sort of store things that are needed all the time. This is my store of pieces of work, actually, that I take out to markets and art fairs and things like that. So, yeah. And then underneath the table that I don't need, I've got loads of rags, loads of packing materials, all sorts of things under there. And what I've been able to clear recently is this whole area, which has allowed me another whole flat surface, and I can use that for mounting pieces, wrapping pieces, cutting things that I need. This is my plan chest, which is actually falling apart, so I do need to get another one. So you can see I've been wrapping some work up here recently, so it's been really nice to have that extra space. And then underneath this cutting board is my stash of tissue paper. So I use a lot of tissue paper for hand printing. This is acid-free, pH neutral, all that kind of thing. I actually get it from a museum's conservation company called Preservation Equipment Limited. They do rolls, which I normally get, but they were out of rolls when I ordered this, so I got the sheets, and they're great as well, actually. Really nice tissue to work with. Lovely thin paper to hand print from, so you don't really need to apply much hand pressure at all. And then this is a new innovation for me. I've got lots of rolled up paper that hasn't been used yet. Really big prints. I've made really long window hangings and wall hangings in the past. Quite difficult to store, so I've rolled them up and they are hanging up there. Over here I've got my drying rack. This is an old piece of shop furniture. I think it was used for wrapping paper in a shop at one point, and they were getting rid of all the stuff, so I bought it. I currently use it to just hang my stash of scrap paper. I always have loads and loads of scrap paper around when I'm printing, because there's often amazing things that happen, ghost prints, lovely little textures that I want to capture, and tissue paper is the best for that because it picks up absolutely everything. So I just have a stash there ready for when I'm in the middle of printing. And down here I've got my stash of collage papers as well. Got some bright pink wrapping paper there. This is some pre-printed tissue, all sorts of things in the magic bag. So that is how I fit my little home printing studio into a 12-foot by 12-foot space. Have to keep fairly tidy. I'm pretty ordered, but it suits me. I can manage, and it's certainly possible to do printing in a space this size with no printing press.